Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take on, I guess you could call this the beer virus response. Response with Biden. He gave a speech today about the beer virus that was so infuriating I couldn't even sit through it all. He basically thinks that he's saving America. He's taking credit for everybody's work in that sort of indirect, humble way, like where he doesn't directly say it. He just keeps insinuating that, ever since he got in office, everything's working out great now. It's really infuriating. Really, really infuriating. Um, he also is acting as if the disease is literally murdering people in the streets every day at an incredible rate, while at the same time urging people to go back to wear a mask and that we're all going to somehow get through this and get back to normal if only everybody gets vaccinated. This is here, John. Come over here if you're gonna be a grouch. Everybody can't get vaccinated. It's impossible. Um, some people don't want to do it. Number one. Number two, the virus is mutating. Viruses mutate. It's become endemic. And number three, even if you believe that the vaccine is 95% effective, and I find that statistic rather high for a vaccine, considering that the flu was only 50% effective and the flu vaccine was only 50% effective, and we've had that for many years. But let's say that that's the truth. Well, you still have 5% of the population, through whatever reason, that will still get sick by a virus. That 5% becomes the mutated virus, the virus that gets around the vaccine. You can't get rid of that. Not until the new vaccine comes out. And by that time, there'll be at least another 5%, probably more. I think when they go back and look at the studies, they'll find that the vaccine was probably better than 50% effective because they got it out so fast, but probably not much more than 50%. But we don't know yet. There hasn't been enough studies. And I'm not anti-vax. I'm not suggesting people shouldn't get vaccinated. Old people, people with comorbidities, people who are in a risk group should absolutely get vaccinated, because being vaccinated is better than not for those particular people. But for people who are in good health, who don't have comorbidities, who are young, the vaccine is so far not dangerous, but we don't know that for sure. We don't know if over a period of time vaccinating someone unnecessarily might lower their immune system or strengthen the virus. So I think Biden's being pretty irresponsible. I think he doesn't care. I think he will use whatever issue he can to push forth a political agenda, which includes this virus stuff, and includes a vaccine passport that will essentially make it mandatory for you to have in your phone, or you can't go into public places. That's, I think, what they're angling for. They will make it so impossible for you to go anywhere without this vaccine passport. You will have to get it or be unable to go anywhere. Be unable to go inside a building with people in it. To be unable to, go to a concert or go to the movies. None of that. You won't be able to do any of that without this vaccine passport. You don't have to get it. You won't be able to work, but you don't have to get it. I think they're just going to make it impossible for you not to get it. And it's not the vaccine that's the problem. It's not even the vaccine that's important. What will be important to these people will be the app they put on your phone. The app that will have your personal medical information, make it available to private industry, and they'll just expand it from there. Because once you have the beer virus vaccine, why shouldn't you have the flu vaccine? Why shouldn't you have any vaccine for everything? Why shouldn't you have all your medical information in case you get into an accident, in case you go into a hospital? Why shouldn't that be immediately at people's fingertips? And why shouldn't we know where you are 24/7? I mean, after all, if you go into a bad neighborhood and you disappear, we'd need to know that. And this is why the tracking app would be perfect. That's where it leads. It leads to constant monitoring. Constant monitoring. It leads to a de facto Chinese social score system. A system in which, in China, if you say or do the wrong things, your social score goes down, just like in that Black Mirror episode. You don't get to access to certain jobs, certain places to live, certain things, certain bonuses. This is the new control. And Biden is happy to bring it along. He's happy to, because he knows it won't impact him, and he thinks it won't impact anyone in his family. On that, he's wrong, because he's stupid. Because the Biden family, and just like all people who become very, very rich, are already very corrupt by the money. I mean, Jesus. Hunter Biden is an absolute train wreck, in my opinion. I can only imagine the next generation after him, because Hunter's about my age. I think he's a little younger. He has kids. Bo had kids. I mean, what are those kids doing? I think one of them got dragged into court on a possible DUI charge, which she beat, but that could be the tip of the iceberg. Who the hell knows? So you're going to tell me those guys are going to keep up the family fortune? I don't think so. In fact, they've documented that a lot of times family fortunes go away after a few generations because the subsequent generations don't have the wherewithal to keep them. They just spend it. Not that I blame them, but, part of that's just bad parenting, really. I mean, look, a guy like Biden, he has a son like Hunter. I got to think that he ignored Hunter a good deal. And because of that, Hunter's messed up. That's just my opinion, but that's the way it seems to be. You don't get to be a drug addict just because you like drugs. You tend to get to be a drug addict because you have a messed up life, you're unhappy, and you take drugs to forget. You take drugs because you don't care about yourself and you're slowly trying to kill yourself. So, Biden, if Biden takes care of his son that way, imagine how he's going to take care of you. Not very well. Not very well. Because it's all going to be about two things: his control, his money, and your obedience. So, this isn't good news. Not good news. Biden cutting back on flexibility for states' healthcare programs. The old Obama crew is back in town. The circle back meme in the Biden White House isn't limited to Jen Psaki's avoidance of tough questions at press briefings. The Biden administration demonstrated that it also intends to circle back to the way things were under the Obama years when it comes to managing Medicaid. Rather than taking a cooperative approach to state and federal partnership, Obama 2.0 is committed to running the program by decree and eliminating flexibilities that improve the program. Unfortunately, states hoping for true flexibility will be disappointed as Medicaid flexibility has departed for Mar-a-Lago. Last month, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services put several states on notice that their existing Section 1115 waivers are under review and could have their approval withdrawn. CMS cites the COVID-19 pandemic for the cover, but ultimately acknowledges that the administration's real issue with the existing demonstrations is a concern that, quote, allowing work and other communities' engagement requirements to take effect would not promote the objectives of the Medicaid program. In other words, listen to us, we know better. Big league politics. American Medical Association Journal removes editor after leftist dogma of systematic racism is questioned. Dr. Howard Bochner has been removed from his job as editor for the Journal of the American Medical Association because a colleague doubted the legitimacy of leftist religion of systematic racism. Quote, structural racism is an unfortunate term, unquote, said the deputy editor Ed Livingston during a February 24th podcast. Quote, personally, I think taking racism out of the conversation will help. Many people like myself are offended by the implication that we are somehow racist. Seems like a perfectly normal response in this day and age. After the digital lynch mob hit Dr. Livingston for expressing his honest opinion, he was immediately thrown under the bus by Dr. Bochner. Quote, comments made in the podcast were inaccurate, offensive, hurtful, and inconsistent with the standards of the JAMA. Dr. Bochner said in a statement, we are instituting changes that will address and prevent such failures from happening again. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Even though he caved into the jackals, the mob eventually came for Dr. Bochner too. He is currently under leave while Dr. Livingston was forced to resign. Well, there you go. Never cave in to the mob. They will come for you anyway. WHO report says animals likely source of beer virus. This isn't my opinion. YouTube, this is the WHO. The findings offer little new insight into how the virus began to spread around the globe, and many questions remain unanswered. A joint WHO-China study on the origins of the beer virus says that the transition of the virus from bats to humans through another animal is the most likely scenario, and that a lab leak is extremely unlikely according to a draft copy obtained by the Associated Press. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't believe this because China's involved. If they're pushing this, that sounds to me like they're trying to cover their own butt. Merkel faults German perfectionism for current virus woes. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has blamed her country's difficulty during the beer virus pandemic, from the slow vaccine rollout to the back and forth over lockdown rules, partly on a tendency towards perfectionism, and called for the greater flexibility to tackle the latest surge in cases. See, she did too good of a job, Germany. Why aren't you grateful? Politicians in every country are exactly the same. Most Americans will be eligible for the beer virus vaccine by mid-April, Biden says. The federal government will expand from 17,000 to 40,000 pharmacies administering the vaccine by mid-April. Okay, good. He says that something like 75% of the elderly population has been vaccinated already. So, by that standard, we should be close to done by then in terms of the elderly population. But we'll see. We shall see. I mean, again, not an anti-vaxxer, but I don't think you need to vaccine the younger people. WHO report, beer virus likely first jumped into humans from animals. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, bats to humans. I don't really trust this. The AP's reporting it, and China's reporting it, so. Florida's Ron DeSantis announces executive action against Biden vaccine passports. Hooray for the free state of Florida. I think this is something that has huge privacy implications. It is not necessary to do. If Trump doesn't run, man, DeSantis 2024. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced on Monday he would be taking executive action against the vaccine passport being developed by the Biden administration. You want the fox to guard the hen house? I mean, give me a break, DeSantis said. I think this is something that has huge privacy implications. It's not necessary to do. Good. Good, DeSantis. Thank God for DeSantis. We need someone like him to roll this all back. Why? Amish community in Pennsylvania becomes first in U.S. to achieve herd immunity after reopening churches led to 90% of households being affected with the virus last year. The Plain community of Lancaster has Plain. That's their name. It's not that they're plain. It's called the Plain community. in Lancaster County has become the first to achieve herd immunity, according to a local administrator of medical center area. Alan Hoover of the parochial, I can't say that word, medical center said that 90% of the households became infected with the virus when they resumed church services late last spring. As Hoover observed, faith in herd immunity prompted members of the community to relax on key mitigation efforts, such as masking and social distancing. It is unknown whether achieving herd immunity in 2020 would be beneficial now. Yeah, well, they went on with their lives. You know, they got to do their fun thing, church, while the rest of us has to languish inside. And again, being an inside cat, really didn't impact me that much, but you know, the fact that the Amish are alive and doing well, and now they have herd immunity, should tell you something. That's probably how this had to go. Probably. No one knows for sure. And I'm not knocking the vaccine or the people trying to push it, but that's my cue. But again, just think about it. I gotta go.